My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of the 2026 Dracula. And okay, so I'm not the biggest Dracula fan. I do not like the Bela Lugosi original. I haven't seen any of the Hammer films. I needed to rewatch it, but I remember not liking Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. I haven't seen Dracula 2000. I do like Van Helsing, and I do like the Batman vs. Dracula. I hated Dracula Untold. I don't like the Hotel Transylvania movies. I am going to rewatch it real soon, but I didn't like Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I didn't like The Invitation. So I am not the biggest Dracula fan. So keep that in mind when I say this might be my favorite Dracula movie. Maybe. It's either this or The Batman vs. Dracula. Like, this movie is actually quite good. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Caleb Landry Jones, I do like. I thought he was great in Get Out, and The Florida Project, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I guess 2017 was a great year for him, but he's really great here. He carries the movie incredibly well. He's always convincing, and I thought he brought lots of emotional depth to his character. But then we've got Zoe Blue, who is just terrific. I don't think she's in many movies at all, but she kind of blew me away here. Like, she is so charming and likable and sincere, and so much of this movie relies on her performance, and she just knocks it out of the park. Then we've got Christoph Waltz, who does give us a typical Christoph Waltz performance, but it's really fitting for this movie. Ewan's Abid is fine, I guess, but he really doesn't have too much to do. And Matilda DeAngelis is great. She has to do so much. She has to be seductive and evil and weak and cool and charming, and she just fully delivers. So this movie is well acted, and it's also well directed by Luc Besson. The production design, the costumes, and especially the makeup looks terrific. Okay, there is some shoddy CGI. Like, there's these gargoyle creatures, which don't look great, but I was just happy to see gargoyle creatures. Like, what was the last movie with a gargoyle creature? Was it The Hunchback of Notre Dame? You know what? I'm gonna look this up. I know there was a whole TV show called Gargoyles. Movies with gargoyles. Okay, let's see. I, Frankenstein? Oh, come on. Ten whole Does Gremlins 2 count? Oh my goodness. We need more gargoyles in movies. And some of the action can be a little choppy, but it's still a well-directed movie. I did like the cinematography by Colin Randlesman, and the music. I didn't realize it was done by Danny Elfman, so there was a point where I was listening and I thought to myself, ooh, this music sounds really enchanting. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it's Danny Elfman, which was just a pleasant surprise. He really did do some great work here. So, movie well acted, movie well directed. How is the script? Well, it starts off a little messy because it focuses on the backstory of Dracula, and then it focuses on Christoph Waltz, then it focuses on Jonathan Jonathan, I think is his name. And I don't know, it kind of feels like it's jumping all over the place. It lacks any clear focus, but eventually the movie does focus up. And what we got here is a movie all about eternity and loneliness and love and faith. And I actually thought it was very surprising just how much depth this movie had. I know people are going to see the title and assume it's a horror movie, and understandably, this movie does have vampires, this movie does have blood, but it's really more of a romance. And in that regard, I was surprised at just how much this movie won me over. It's actually a really romantic and sweet and charming movie, and I was surprised by how much I cared by the end of it. You know, like, I know Dracula is the bad guy. I know. And I get it. But if I'm being totally honest, I was kind of rooting for him in the last act. And, yeah, I just wasn't expecting that. I thought the ending had some real emotion, and it really does feel like a tragic movie that the more I think about it, the more I like it. So, yes, what else can I say? It maybe slows down a couple times, and there is one sequence in which the movie does something really odd with dancing, and it's just a really cool moment. Like, it's just directed to perfection. And there's also one other moment where it's a bit more seductive, I would say, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's just really cool. So yeah, I dug this movie. I really did. Once again, it can feel a little messy, it can be slow, and some of the action is choppy, but by the end, I was completely won over. I cared about this romance. I thought it had emotion. It had lots to say. The characters had depth. It's well acted. And it's a pretty well crafted movie. So I'm going to give Dracula a 7 out of 10. That rating could go up, but I need to sleep on it a little more. But it's definitely worth seeking out. So, Dracula, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.